baby. It's time to ride the funk train. This is Vinny, Funkmaster v Vineyard, and I'm joined by the legendary 7800 Pro Gamer. That's John Stoll II. And this is in the Bizarro universe. We are the official Atari podcast of Atari, but here on planet Earth, we are just regulated to slave status.
Didn't they say if you give them your toaster, they'd let us be the
I bought my wife. What's crazy is I mentioned to the Atari, one of the social medias, it might have been Twitter. They said we had a big announcement, which I think it was a little cartoon for Lunar Lander, but I was playing a little dense.
Oh, is that what it was?
I think so. I think they're getting ready for Lunar Lander to shoot out into the cosmos. But I said, "Oh, you're going to announce John and me being the official podcast of Atari," and they said, if you trade, if there's any Star Wars Millennium Falcon waffle maker, and that's what's crazy is I got my wife a waffle. I just actually for dinner had one of the Star Wars Millennium Falcon waffles, and they're actually effing delicious. So yeah, I'll trade Atari the spot. I'll buy my wife another one.
Hey, it sounds like a fair trade.
Well, if we become, here's my thing. I know Atari apparently is watching us. So here, let me just say something. I don't know who these kids are that you've got on the program, and God bless them. And I don't want to take $1 out of their pocket, but these are children. They have no idea. I think they're doing the Atari podcast ironically. They're not old, grizzled Atari people that saw Generation X and we had to fight dogs with our fists in the streets of Baltimore. These are kids that would like cry if the car didn't start in the morning, that type of stuff. These guys, if they couldn't figure out how to turn on their Game Boy when there was a kid. We didn't have a Game Boy. We had a knife and a fork and a toaster, and that's what we did all afternoon. And when we finally got an Atari 2600, our poor parents bought it for us to shut us up. It was the best thing ever. So, but today's awards day. Why are we so negative?
I don't know. I thought we were starting off pretty positive.
Oh, that's positive. So putting down another podcast, putting down the actual Atari podcast.
Well, you started on that front. I haven't watched it yet, but I'm sure they do a fine job.
They have zits. They're a bunch of children. They all have zits, and they're all like,
let's be honest.
Who's going to the dance this weekend? Are you? I don't know if I'm going to the dance or not. You think Johnny will answer me?
Right.
That kind of shit.
And then, when they talk about Haunted House, it's a remake from the 50th collection. They don't know about the...
Yes.
No, but...
They may be a little hipper than that, but
yeah,
not by much.
No, I'm sure they do a fine job. I was going to watch it, but I couldn't bring myself to do it yet.
There you go. See, Atari, what are we talking about? And he's the good guy.
He's sure the good guy. If you guys have seen it, let us know in the comments how good it is, or if you agree with Benny. I'm kind of scared to watch it.
It's low energy, man.
They don't have you.
It's Atari. Atari is the symbol of excitement, man. It is the king of video games, and they're sitting around going, "Well, it's not as we're going to have a nice discussion today about the Maria chip, and we have a 16 child with the RAM. But how do you think about that?" I don't know. They're lovely people.
That sounds pretty good to me. I could be on that show, I think. No, but I don't know about that, but I like the Maria chip.
Yes. Yeah, they're just like...
It kind of sounds like ASMR thing. Listen to Vinny sip his cup.
Hey, ASMR. Today's the awards show, baby. The first ever.
Sir. Before we get into that, though, I think we got a good opportunity because Pierre wants to know about our thoughts on the Atari 400 Mini. Have you heard about that?
I just looked at the picture. It is a miniature. I don't know if the keyboard on top is actually usable, but
I don't think so.
Yeah, it's just a sticker. It's got 4 jacks in the front, so there may be a 4-player game. Sounds like your chair is a bicycle horn, or it's like a clown is coming to kill you in Toledo.
Yeah, pretty much. Toledo. You see My dog, I hid his squeaky toy so I could do the podcast, and now he learned how to knock it off the shelf and get it for himself. So
Hey, these animals are brilliant.
I'm telling you, he's smart. He's going to be running the house in a few weeks. He'll be on the show. But
Oh, man, he'll probably get the Atari podcast before we will.
Right, exactly.
He'll be like,
yeah, Atari 400 Mini, it has 25 built-in games. They haven't announced all 25, have they? I thought the list only had like 5 or 6 on it.
well, I said I thought it was odd that there was only 25, and you said.
Yep, I said that they actually will allow you to expand your own. You can put your own games on it, which is, I think, what everybody wants. I mean, anytime you buy that sort of thing, you want to put your own stuff on it. You don't want to be limited to 25. You don't want to be limited to 50. You don't want to be limited to 100. You want everything. You want the freedom. And I think that's a really smart idea. Now, we should mention, though, that the Atari 400 Mini isn't an Atari product, though. It is actually brought out by, I had the name, and now I don't. Benny Stahl.
My imitation of the official Atari podcast. The Atari 400 Mini. We're excited today about bringing out.
Oh my God.
And John is taking forever.
I know. I can't find the name.
There's 4 ports. Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4. I had a calculator because I was born in 2001. And
I can't find the name, but it's not brought out by Atari. I promise that.
Is it brought out? Is it by the people that did the game station and stuff like that?
No, not those people either. I'm sure somebody in the comments while I'm looking around, they've already said what it is, but I believe it's a European company because it was announced for the UK, Europe first.
Oh, good.
And
then, they need to get some shit first.
Well, I think it made sense too because I think computers.
Pierre, who suspiciously sounds like he's from Europe,
Retro Games Ltd.
He may be a spy. Be careful. Don't give him too much information. He may be a French spy.
Yeah.
He's right. We'll call him instead of a French viewer, we'll call him a freedom viewer. Pierre Garot.
No, he's right. Retro Games Ltd, which again, that's fine because that allows people to add games to them without Atari actually.
Weird system, man. You know what everybody's waiting for, though?
What's that?
A mini Jaguar.
Yep.
I mean, let's get off the pot. It's about time. I mean, I don't even know. Was the Atari 800 even one of the better gaming computers back in the day? I mean,
it had a lot of fans.
Yeah, it was pretty good. But I mean, Commodore 64, Amiga. It probably was better than the Spectrum. It probably was better than a couple of the cruddier ones. But
yeah,
I think it's mid, to use the parlance of the Atari podcast, what they would say, the kids, as they're doing their vapes in between the I'm going to have vape, John. This is another imitation of the Atari podcast. I'm going to vape right now, John. You talk about how fun Miss Pac-Man is.
I really like Miss Pac-Man. Sometimes I get stuck in the corner.
I really actually unironically play it. But anyway, we're just busting balls over here.
No, yeah.
And another thing I think is interesting, if you're done with that one, are you done talking about the mini?
Yeah, we can be done. We're excited for it. That's the...
Yeah, I am too. We've had plenty of 2600 stuff.
Right.
We know that's the championship. Besides, I like Atari arcade stuff too, but most people associate the 2600 with Atari, and rightfully so. It was the most successful system they ever had. So, but I would like to see the Jaguar, but I like the arcade stuff too, especially if they could ever get some of their arcade games when there was that split. If we could get Paperboy and Gauntlet and Marble Madness and Vindicators and Zybots and stuff like that, and San Francisco Rush, man, those are some great games too.
I think it's just a lot of those games went to different companies is the problem.
Well, yeah, after the divorce or when Warner Brothers went to Poo-Pooville or whatever. A lot of them are...
I know Midway had some of them, I think.
Yeah.
Namco definitely had a bunch, but they kind of owned them to begin with. But
I'd like us to buy. I saying us like we're already the official podcast, which I'm waiting. I've got my email right here up in the corner, just so when Atari notifies us that
it pops up.
They fired those 4 punk kids so they can go start their own software company. They're going to give it to the old haggard Funkmaster and his kid Wonder out of Toledo. But I would like I would like to see Atari buy Namco, man. Shit, let's just flip the switch. Let's do it. Pac-Man.
You want Atari to buy Namco?
Yes, it's always happens. Smaller always buys bigger,
isn't it? Is that how it goes? Because it's Bandai Namco now, right? So they'd have to buy Bandai Namco Atari, is what the name would be.
I'll tell you what. I got some brass knuckles and a flamethrower.
That's all.
I say we go talk to them Japanese kids right now. And if the first time, we bow, we say nice things, we talk about how wonderful sushi is, and if they make any sudden movements, we just take them down. I mean, and if we even fail on the way out, we'll just start screaming about Atari. Viva la Atari.
I've been learning business from Vinny, and apparently that's how it works.
That's how I got most of my taxi companies. I
guess
I absorbed. I absorbed most of the taxi companies in East Tennessee that way.
Just with a lighter and a can of hairspray.
Yeah, some brass knuckles. I've only been shot 4 times, and so
Yep.
Namco is Atari's Japanese distributor in the beginning. That's coming from Atari. That's Justin over there at Atari IO.
Yeah, they always did have a close relationship, and then
what we need to do is go over there and seduce them and break their hearts, like sleep with Namco.
Okay,
I'll be the Atari. I'll take the hit.
You'll take the hit. Okay,
and then I'll never call them again. And then I'll take their mother out, and I'll never call her again.
Who's Namco's mother again? Just so I'm
Mrs. Granny Namco is what
Granny. Their grandmother. You're taking their grandmother.
Old Granny Nams. Yeah. So
I'm sure Granny will have a great time.
I'm good with old people. They love me.
I'm sure. Yeah, they love wrestling, so they probably know who you are.
My grandmother always thought it was real.
Yep.
Okay, so anything? Oh, I was going to say to complete the Trilogy Plus One at the Atari VCS store, they put in Revan Tully's Dragon Trilogy Boom 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 last week, and it was an economical. Was it $4.99 a game?
Yeah, $4.99 or was it?
Yeah,
it was $4.99.
$4.99, and which is comparable. It's $60 on Atari Age for the physical thing. So that's if you didn't want to pull the trigger. For a physical Atari 7800 cartridge from Atari Age, you could pick it up on the Atari VCS, and they came out with this. It's kind of like. Did you ever play Dark Forces, the Star Wars computer game?
Yeah,
You were the kind of the bad guys. You're the stormtroopers. This is kind of what this is. I think, John, if you know anything different, you can tell me. But Harpy's Curse was released, and a harpy is a bad guy to the dragons that we've been playing. And this might have been a renegade good guy. It's like Flynn from Star Wars, the turncoat stormtrooper.
Yeah, maybe. I don't think that's the story, but I like your story. Because remember, there was always bad dragons too. So I think the harpies were with the bad dragons. Maybe this harpy is with our dragon of embers and dragon of storms. Yep.
And if you go to the Atari 7800forever.com, there are cheat codes that you can actually play as the Dragon of Thorns in a couple of those games. And you can play, which is an interesting. I wouldn't have thought that. You got ice, you got fire. I wouldn't have thought thorns would have been the third, but there he is.
It makes sense.
How?
If you
hurts, ice hurts, fire hurts, and thorns. Okay.
Yeah, there you go. It's all painful.
We figured it out together.
Yep. And then
Revan Tully has a lot of pain. So go. But Harpy's Curse. Is a Metroidvania. He's done a different game each time, which is really, and that one's $8.99. And I will tell you, of all the games that have been released for the Atari 7800 in the last couple of years, by far the coolest box is Harpy's Curse.
Oh,
that is badass looking.
And I think if you buy it, the physical edition, don't they have a little mini poster
Penis?
in there?
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, that too, but that's a given. But
Free boners at Atari age. As soon as Atari got
with each
bought out,
purchase.
just a little shit. We won't say. See, now we're not going to get the podcast.
No, you did it.
No, you encouraged me.
You immediately went to boners,
You should admonish me. But besides, this is an awards show, which already we're doing better than the Golden Globes. I'm dressed up in a mink coat, women's sunglasses. I've got a Rolex watch. You came out like you're refereeing an ice hockey game. What's the story there?
No, I said business casual. So I have my work shirt on. I have my cat hat.
What business? It looks like you're in the business of
the business of selling construction equipment.
Yeah, okay.
It's a business. Yeah. But I heard you were going to do a song and dance routine, so go ahead
for the awards show.
For the awards show,
I don't have my bass in here. I would. I definitely would.
Damn, Benny.
I've got my lights. So without further ado, you want to get into this thing?
Yeah, let's get going. So this is our first annual Fuji Awards. So basically, we're gonna talk about 9 or 10 topics here, and we're just gonna kind of each nominate something for each of those topics. We'll kind of give our reasoning for the nomination, and we'll decide which one wins.
Are you going to be sending out a trophy to the winners?
Yeah, actually, yes. Stall, Vinny, stall.
Okay, I didn't know this was real. This is awesome. Oh, he's coming back.
All right, I'm coming back. You'll get this lovely.
That's nice.
Disappearing. Yep.
Well, it's fragile.
Yeah, it's fragile. You would have got a lovely. No, you get a nice little.
Are you really mailing those out?
Yeah, why not?
Well, one of these guys is not. One of these guys is not going to give a shit about that. I can tell you that right now.
If you win, give me your address, your home address, full name, social security number. When
you're not going to be home,
right?
Your work schedule, so we know when to show up when you're there.
Atari.io for sexiest, most seductive Atari website. Well, we dropped the ball on that category.
You lost a mind too. That's the other problem. You lost the. Now you're going through shit we've already talked about. How are you ever going to take over these young kids?
That's the thing. We're too old. We go in circles. They don't.
Yeah, we stammer. Do we want to go from the bottom? Like, I don't want to. Should we start with the like when there's like real awards? If they do best makeup first, and everybody waits around for best movie at the end.
If you would have came to rehearsals, Vinny, we were going to start with best Atari VCS release.
Okay.
See, this is why rehearsals are so important.
Well, we had some girls outside, and there was something lost in their clothes, and I had to help find them. What it was, it's
a good excuse.
I'm just going to stop because we're never going to get this gig. So, best official VCS, and this is for the Atari VCS. They also call it the Atari VCS 800 for some reason. And because that's how many times you got to put in the zip code for it to work. Ew.
Hey.
The Atari official VCS release. Best one. Best. So this would be anything released by Atari or anything released at all.
Best Atari VCS release. So any game on the VCS.
I'm changing my answer.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I can't believe
this is why rehearsal is so important.
Let's see. Hold on a second. I don't know. Maybe I don't want to. Hold on, because
Vinny.
Anything released.
Anything released.
Ooh.
On the Atari VCS, on the Atari VCS 800.
What's your nominee?
My nominee is I'm gonna stick with mine. I liked Cavern of Mars Recharged.
Okay. Where are you ranked on the leaderboard, by the way?
I don't think I am ranked at all on the leaderboard, to be honest.
Can I tell you something? This is what's fun about the Recharge games.
Yeah.
I have put all of mine, there's 10 of them. So on my VCS, I've got all 9, and then you go over one. There's yours because it's alphabetical. Alphabetize them because I'm
Right.
lame as hell. I don't have a spice rack to alphabetize, so I alphabetize my Atari VCS collection.
Right.
And you can go on most of them. You can go and see the leaderboards from the main
Right.
screen. You don't even have to go into them. Now, some they haven't updated, but my goal right now is to get in the top 25 on each game.
Okay.
My worst game is Cavern of Mars. And
Really?
I don't know how people are getting the scores they're getting. I need to see a video. But I'm 90th right now on that.
Oh, wow.
And
Yeah, I'm not good at it either. I'll say that much.
What the thing always boggles my mind is I play Asteroids. I'm in the top 10 in Asteroids now. And I don't even like Asteroids.
Oh, wow.
But I like it okay, but it's not one of my favorite. Cavern of Mars, fun game, challenging. It rope-a-dopes you. You think you're doing great. You think you're doing great, and all of a sudden it's the end of the world in like 2 seconds. So
it's a it's probably one of the most challenging games for me in the Recharge series. It's one of the few where I can't add the multipliers on. You know how you can add you get twice the score, but you die in 1 hit or something like that. I can't add those on there. I have to have all of my every advantage I can get in that game, I guess is what I should say. But have you had time to think of your nomination for Atari VCS 800 Game of the Year?
For the Atari VCS 800 Game of the Year, I'm going to have to go. I didn't want to do this, but I'm going to have to. I'm going to have to go with e.x.o for the Atari 7800.
Oh, okay.
Because I think from all the games, and this is 2023, right?
Yep.
That's the best game they released. I mean, it's got boss battles. It's got 5 engaging worlds, cinematics. It's got a bunch of different codes. It's got great sound. It's got good graphics for a 7800 game. It's got plenty of challenge, secrets, dialogue between the characters. It's of all the games they've released, Atari that is, and everything that's on the VCS, I can point out a flaw with every game. And this is the one where there's probably the least amount of flaws if there's any. So I'm going to say e.x.o 7800 is the best official VCS release for the year 2023.
Wow. That I would say that I agree with you, except I actually haven't played it yet because I'm waiting till I get the cartridge. I want to experience that game on the 7800 on the cartridge, so I'm just saving it. So I have no idea. I've messed with it a little bit, but I couldn't say which is better. So I think Vinny, I believe you got the envelope. We'll let you pick the winner.
The envelope.
What's the answer? I thought you were going to do the
old Johnny, the old Carmack
Johnny,
thing.
Carmack,
it's like fire and brimstone. What I experience with my wife 3 days a month. All right. I'm going to say e.x.o wins best official VCS release. It's the best game this year released for the Atari VCS. It's almost flawless.
I think most people would agree with you. I've heard nothing but good things about e.x.o.
It's one of the, and if you also on the Atari, the problem with that is when was it released? 21, 22, 23? It's kind of crazy. People haven't gotten it. It's going to be 2024. People haven't got their damn carts yet.
I was going to say, you could look at it a couple different ways because it was released, two PRGEs ago? And then
I'm going to put this in here. Beast. What are you talking?
Yeah.
Atari.
I think they did a limited release, or no, they didn't.
No,
they released it at the last PRGE. So I guess it could be considered a 2023 cartridge release, but it's definitely a VCS. There you go.
Best Atari. There we go. It's official. It's in the books.
It's official.
Yep. All right. What's the next category, my friend?
Let's just work on up from the bottom of the list here. So I have one of our more important categories, Best Atari 7800 Podcast Moment, which is now the Atari Network Podcast
So
brought to
you're
you
talking
by.
about we're giving ourselves an award?
We're giving ourselves an award, Vinny. We worked hard. I mean, we don't come to rehearsals, but we work hard.
Okay.
Only one
So
of us comes to
best
rehearsals.
Atari 7800 Forever podcast moment. That would also be known now as the best Atari 7800 or best Atari Network podcast moment. Hey there, Arena Foot.
Hey.
So I've got one. I liked when Revan Tully was interviewed while you played Dragon's Havoc, which it was an amazingly difficult game, and you beat it while he was being interviewed.
Yep.
I think that was, and then we got to see the ending of the game, which is one of the better Atari 7800 endings. So I think for me, that's the best Atari 7800 Forever podcast moment of 2023.
And I think that was our first pseudo interview together, wasn't it? With Revan Tully. I remember being very, very nervous for that one.
You were very nervous, and in the beginning, I started talking about accidentally touching Revan Tully's breast,
that's right.
And you got so nervous while I was doing that, and I was like, I'm just bust. I was just trying to freak out John, because John doesn't talk to people much.
No, I don't get out very often, but I play a lot of Atari, so. But no, I agree. I like doing that. I think by the end, we had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You touching the boob was kind of weird, but
he didn't like it either. If that makes you feel better, but I think Justin's going to bust your. He's guessed your suggestion.
Atari.io says, I thought your Ricky and Vicky stuff this year was awesome, and I would have to agree with them because that's my nomination. Our interview with Tail Chow, talking about Ricky and Vicky, how it was developed, what went into it. Just an incredible game. It was so cool to be able to talk to Tail Chow. He was an awesome guy to talk to. I've talked to him in emails before and after, and he's just such a down-to-earth, really cool guy.
And he enjoyed our podcast so much that he actually gave me a developer version of Ricky and Vicky and the customized case that I won. I mean, I was blown away. I could sell this thing on eBay for several $100s, and he just appreciated. And Tail Chow is younger, right?
Yep.
I mean, he's
a lot younger than we thought.
Yeah, and he was a lot nicer.
Yeah,
I kind of thought he was a snob. I don't know why I thought that. People always think things,
Yeah.
But he was a sweetheart. He was very upfront about the struggles, and I learned a lot. I learned that they effing put a lot of work into Ricky and Vicky, like multiple people, like working on that for years, and like full-time jobs.
He quit his job to do that game.
Amazing.
And, I mean, that's the only way something like that would get made. You have to think the time, dedication, the art. I mean,
it would be much easier to make a game nowadays for these independent stores than to actually do something that goes and works on a 7800 to play that well. So, yeah, that was an amazing feat.
And unfortunately, that might be the last Ricky and Vicky game. So, Benny, I think we talked a little bit beforehand. I think we're in agreement because you did show up to rehearsal late.
Yeah.
Who's getting the coveted non-distinct trophy?
Best Atari 7800 Forever podcast moment of 2023 goes with Tail Chow interview, the Ricky and Vicky developer. That was an excellent interview, and we love that a lot.
But we did have a lot more great moments. Not to downplay anybody else we've interviewed. We had a lot of great people on the show.
Yeah, David Dent and Daryl Gunther, and we're going to have more as more people get brave.
Yep.
We were going to have Lance Rehnquist, the guy that's been selling Atari shit for 40 years. And he got sick.
Yep. He'll be on eventually. I know
he'll make it through.
We'll make it work. We'll make it work. So with that, I think with everything in life, there are ups, downs. There's good moments, and this is going to be our only negative topic. There are disappointments.
Well, so we are talking about Atari.
So the biggest Atari-related disappointment for 2023. Why don't you take the first nominee, Vinny?
I'm going to say it's not a bad game. In fact, I have a review on my website. On the YouTube page I have, bigandfunkyproductions.com. It's got quite a few views, and it's a good game. But I think a lot of people were really disappointed with how Berserk Recharged came out. And I think a lot of people thought, and this is what I said in my review, is it turned Berserk from a survival horror game into a twin stick shooter where you are encouraged to run fast and accumulate points and keep the multiplier up instead of the cagey, pew, 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 peek around the corner type battles while the evil auto is coming after you. And I think everybody's in agreement. This isn't a bad game. This should have been something else. This really isn't Berserk. But they were disappointed with Berserk because it seemed like Atari was putting all their eggs at quarter 4 into Berserk Recharged. And it was tepid. I think nobody would say it was an awful game, but I think people were disappointed.
Yeah, I think the main thing we said, and I think it's probably the main thing to take away, is it was a decent game. It was an okay game. But it wasn't a good Berserk game, if that makes sense. So I would agree with that. I mean, maybe some other people have some other opinions, but I guess I wasn't thrilled with it. So I could follow you on that. What's funny is both of our nominees for biggest disappointment is sort of VCS related.
Oh, well,
I just now realized that.
Well, it's the hey, what's up, Possum Grits? Sounds like something I'd call somebody. It sounds like something I'd call anybody.
Yeah, it sounds like an insult. Hey, Possum Grits.
Stay fresh, Possum Grits. I mean the VCS. What a year for the VCS, and it's highs and surprises and lows as well. And I think you've got a nominee for another VCS.
There was very high highs, very low lows, and creamy middles. But yeah, my biggest disappointment was the Atari VCS zip code glitch and how it just took over the year for a lot of us. Some people, they haven't experienced it, and thank God for that. I'm glad that there's at least some people that get to enjoy the VCS uninterrupted.
Me,
but like you. But if you've had this glitch, then it's just a pain. You want to be behind Atari. You want to be behind the VCS. You want to buy games. You want to give them money. I wanted to give them money this year countless times, and I could not. So the inability to play game, and I actually got lucky because they did fix it intermittently for a few days here and there. It seemed like every time there was a big release, which was a little weird. It would work long enough for me to get like Haunted House, and then it would drop off again, and then it'd work long enough to get Food Fight Culinary Combat, and then drop off again. So their inability to fix it, and just the glitch in general, has to be the biggest disappointment for me.
Yeah,
it's just hands down. I mean, nothing compares.
And I think that wins because you're shooting yourself in the foot. Mm-hmm. People are like, okay, we've heard the VCS is now, after a couple of years of being really weird and kind of worthless, now they're cooking with gas, and I can't even get to play.
And I've seen a ton of people in Facebook groups say, I just got an Atari VCS. I'm so excited. And then they're immediately back the next day. I'm having issues. I can't set it up. What do I do? And it's a bad luck, really. I mean, I wish it was a different experience for these people, because people want to love it. They really do. So Atari, let me know where you want your your trophy for that.
Yeah, we'll mail it to you. As soon as you guys give us the
an address that we can bug you at.
I'd like some free Atari swag, by the way.
Yeah. While you're doing that, was that RLS or Res 3? I'd like to see Atari buy something like 3D Send that'll allow people to play classics in 3D. Is that the technology, like the emulators that play in 3D or something like that? I'm not familiar with what that is, but that might be an interesting idea. The actual classic games in the sort of third dimension, I think something like that was done with Mario Brothers. So that's an interesting idea.
Yeah, they could do. I mean,
I
I think
would
they're.
agree
I
with
don't know
that.
what. I don't know if he's where he's going with that really, but the Recharge series is a different paint job and a different
Right.
flavor, kinda, and they're kind of 3-dimensional. Some of them are. So,
Right.
if you haven't checked those out, if you mean something totally different, then
Yeah, let
enlighten.
us know. But I if that's what you're talking about, I think I sort of agree. But let's move on with our next topic. It's the best Atari non-cartridge release, which means anything that wasn't a cartridge game, basically, or
Um,
a game, I guess.
my suggestion for this is going to be a little outside the box, but I was really excited at the quality of it. It's going to be Sabretooth's Club VCS magazine. I thought that was really awesome, and I hope he still has a few copies laying around because I haven't got to buying one yet.
I think they
But
sold out, Vinny.
well, maybe he'll make me one. I don't know. Maybe he'll give me
Maybe
one,
you'll get a limited edition.
especially. Yeah, but yeah, they should recharge Battlezone. The problem is
Do they own it?
the incompetent group before this current group that owns it has sold the rights to Battlezone, which
Wow.
is stupid. Yes,
Yeah, what
that's
awful foresight.
That's a great game.
It is. I was just playing that in the 2600 plus. So.
What a great 2600 game. It's one of the best 2600 games by far.
Oh, it looked incredible too.
Yeah.
Sabretooth did an amazing job. He's been the greatest advocate VCS fans could ask for. I would have to agree with that sentiment. And yeah, that's kind of when I made that topic, I was not thinking of that at all, but I would agree with that as well. And I wish I had grabbed my copy to show off, but the physical magazine itself is so high quality. It's more high quality than any magazine that you would have got back in the day. Way better than the old Atari magazines, Nintendo Powers.
Oh yeah, I mean the old Atarian magazine was really poor quality paper and all that stuff.
Yep, and a lot of them were back in the day. I remember even PlayStation era magazines were sort of, flimsy a little bit. This magazine was, you can tell a lot of love went into it. So I agree with that nomination. But I would.
I've heard of people putting a lot of love into certain magazines. I hope that's not what you meant.
No, they put love all over the pages. They just splatted it on there and
gotcha.
But no, nothing dirty. My nomination for best non-cartridge Atari release is probably, I don't know, a little as far away from the magazine as you could get. I'm nominating the 2600 plus because I think after purchasing that and after playing it and after hearing all the feedback, I did a poll on my channel. Everybody loves that thing, and I can see why now. It's a great piece of hardware, almost completely compatible with the 7800 library minus the retail library, I should say, minus Rampage and Double Dragon. And they're putting a lot of work into it still. I'm impressed with how far it's come since its short release. Once 1.1 gets released, the newest update, I think it's probably going to be the best thing on the market, second only to an actual 7800, which I still prefer. But
HDMI gets you on the TV, and so I mean, there's a lot of advantages to it too. New controllers and stuff like that.
Yep, and it's going to be supported, I think, all year long, which is going to be a great thing too. So, Vinny, envelope, please.
The old envelope. You want that one? Here we go. You get it?
No, you're mess. Go ahead, read it. I ain't doing this.
All right.
You don't come to rehearsal. You don't give me the envelope.
The best non-cartridge release of 2023 is the Atari 2600 Plus. Congratulations.
See, now I feel bad.
Why?
Because I like Sabretooth. I want his magazine to win.
Hey, he got the nom. He did enough work to get the nom. If he put out 6.
Hey, Possum Grits. Yeah, I agree. That was my other thought.
What you call me? Oh.
That was my other thought, was the new paddle controllers is another, would be a good nominee. And then Justin said he votes for Sabretooth, so.
Yeah, well, of course you would. He's always against the. Justin is a contrarian. He's always for the little guy. He's the underdog guy.
So next we have a topic here that I think this is one of the topics everybody was waiting for. I know I knew this one was coming. The best big and funky video of the year.
No, we're
Come
talking
on,
about
guys.
we're talking about Atari.
Yep,
Releases,
Atari,
right?
Atari
Okay, so
related.
not some of our other stuff that we did.
No, but you had some fun other stuff. I mean,
yeah, well, I had an Edgar Allan Poe skit that I thought was pretty funny. The Telltale Fart.
Here you go. I like Justin. Best new Atari publication. Club VCS Zine.
We don't have enough trophies for that. The
I'll make you a paper trophy.
It's hard for me to judge my own work, but I liked. I thought the thing that I thought was the coolest is my e.x.o review. I got a copy of e.x.o that nobody else had. And it was tailor-made for me, and I got it on Sunday morning, and I was early, because Muddy Funster made e.x.o, and I got a copy, and he told me and it's like he gave me 69 lives because he knew I'm 12 years old, and I'll laugh at that and stuff like that. And e.x.o is a game. It's kind of like an adventure-type space game. And I think my review on that's the best because I was the first person on the internet to show some of the screens that had never been seen before, and a couple of glimpses of here and there, and I was able to video distort some things so you kind of see it. So it was kind of cool. My e.x.o video was review on the Big and Funky Productions channel was my favorite.
And if you haven't watched it yet, this isn't my nominee, but I think Jolt's nominating it, and I'll second this. The Video 61 laminated comic sheets video. If you haven't seen it, Vinny has done 15 minutes on the laminated sheets. So if you buy from Video 61, you get a sheet, which my green screen won't let me show, but it has a little comic on it. And Vinny spent more time than anybody should. What'd you say? It reminded you of your wedding night?
You posted a comment that said 15 minutes on laminated sheets. I'm in. I said, it reminds me of my honeymoon. I mean, there's so many funny freaking things. But that video was, my website, Atari7800forever.com, has tons of articles that are that weird. Now, the problem with that, it's only got 74 views because nobody knows what the hell it is. But the people that have liked and watched that video, they're like, dude, that was really entertaining to go panel by panel over these Video 61 comics that accompany the games, and they're just weird comics, man. They're just those cats are bizarre out there.
Hey, David, boxing self-defense fitness strategy. I might need you later because Vinny's being a bully. Yeah. No, it sounds like Lance saw your video, according to Atari.io. He saw your video, liked it, and they're using the feedback to improve their comics. So
what?
You did some good in the world, Vinny.
Man, I hope I didn't hurt their feelings because, I'm a comedian and I'm a pro wrestler and I'm an asshole. Yeah. I just can't help it. But I mean, here's what you got to realize. What did Oscar Wilde say? The worst thing about not being or being taught, the only thing worse than being talked about is not being talked about at all. At least because Video 61 has put enough content into the universe. They're releasing 7800 games, which is John's system and my favorite system. So I'm going to support them, and we're going to give them some press. I know they're not popular over at Atari Age for some reason, but that forum. But for me, if they make Atari 7800 games that don't explode and they actually are sort of fun to play, I'm going to support it.
No, absolutely. I agree. And like you said, it was all in fun, but I think, making stuff, making videos, making games, you kind of appreciate the criticism. You want to do the best you can. If everybody always says great job, then you don't think you have to improve. So you kind of need to hear that sometimes. I never take offense to it. So I don't think they do.
Everybody loves your shit.
No, tons of people hate it. You should see the comments on my last video.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Couple rough ones.
Couple rough ones. And just like David's boxing self-defense fitness strategy, who's going to get me in shape to fight Vinny this year, hit the like button on the stream. There you go. So my favorite video, I think now I'm starting to love the laminated sheet video, but I was I nominated your Robotron video because you got the vaulted Ed Ladin Was it the twin stick 78? What's the controller called?
Oh, I had the folks Ed he's the guy down in Georgia that makes those Ed Ladden controllers that are just badass.
Yep.
He actually gave me a Funkmaster V version of the stick, and I'm terrible at Robotron. And there was a rumor out there that said if you can hit if you use this stick that Ed Ladden made, you can eclipse 1,000,000 points on Robotron easy. And I videoed it as a challenge video, first time.
Don't give away the ending.
But I had
have to watch and
massively.
see.
Yeah, the Funk was not defeated. We'll just say that.
Do you want your trophy mailed to you, Vinny? Or
no, we're going to give it to. I guess
one of your videos, I guess. Yeah. So
yeah, one of my. I'll send it to my video.
So who do you want to pick your own best video, or you want me to pick it for you?
I've already put it in. I've already put
there
it
you
in
go.
The official
best
document.
Video.
It's
the review of e.x.o.
Yeah, I think it's also the best game that's been released in a while for Atari that I've played.
I need your address finally. No, I'm kidding. I already have it.
Oh God.
I Googled you way before we did the
yeah, you're like a girlfriend. You're like a millennial girlfriend, and you're like you found out everything.
Way back on his Facebook post, and I accidentally liked one, and I freaked the hell out.
No. So you liked 12 in a row?
Yeah, I just acted like I got
this mother effer is liking videos and pictures from 2014.
Well, moving on to the next award. We have the award nobody asked for, the best Atari Network video. So I'll go ahead and get mine out of the way. I think I had a lot of fun making videos this year, guys. I'm not like Vinny. I don't make movies. I started YouTube on a whim. Since he invited me to be on a podcast, I thought I should have a presence. So my favorite video that I did this year, and I think a lot of people watched it, was my 7800 library video, the official library. I did one on homebrews, one on the official. The official library video, I think that turned out very well. I ranked every single game Atari made from worst, which is, of course, Real Sports Baseball. I can't stand that game, to best, which, of course, is watch the video to find out. So,
cliffhanger.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yep. So I think that by far, not only in views, which it is my
where you at?
I think it's past 10,000 now. Man, I know my VCS video is my top one, but yeah, no, I was surprised at the reaction it got. People seemed to enjoy it, and I had a lot of fun doing it. I think that was probably the funnest video I've done to this point. But the sequel probably wasn't as much fun, if I'm honest.
So what's the name so people can watch it?
It is ranking the entire Atari 7800 library. I think that's the official name of the video. I think that one has the orange thumbnail.
Ooh, go Vols.
Yeah, exactly.
What
about you, Vinny? Have you ever seen any of my videos?
No, I don't watch that shit.
I didn't.
But I'll tell you, but I'm very proud of you, and you were very tepid. You didn't think you could do this. You've monetized your channel. I've been doing this crap for 13 years. I'm still not monetized. You monetized your channel in 6 months. You've got people. I look at your stuff when you like. The people that watch your version of the stream, it's like, John, I love you, John. Oh, John. No. And like the people that like are on mine are like, hey man, you ever gonna sell that log splitter that you put on Facebook Marketplace? I mean, it's totally different vibes from what your fans.
By the way, I'm still waiting on an answer. I need a log splitter.
But
or is that why Dave's here?
You have tons of good videos, and it's always about the content. And there's a couple of them I heard, oh, John's a little sleepy on this one, but most of them are excellent and really good. And I would say my favorite, because I'm 7800 guys, you rank in the 7800 homebrews, because to me the 7800 is the best with the homebrews. That is my suggestion, but I do think that the best one quality wise is the ranking of the Atari 7800 library. So we'll go ahead and give you the award. Mail that to yourself, you jerk. And you won an award. How many of these awards are we going to give ourselves here? This is ridiculous.
All of them, because I don't think anybody else wants them. But No, yeah, I would agree. The thing about the 7800 homebrews ranked video is it took way too long, a lot longer than I thought it would to complete. And I ended up staying up till 4 in the morning doing that video, and I still made mistakes. I was editing out all the mistakes I made, re-recording
Oh
audio
my
here
God.
and there.
Awful.
And
It's
then
terrible when you have to do that.
yep, I uploaded it. I slept for an hour, went to work, had the
Yeah.
worst day at work ever. And because of that, that video is tainted for all time.
Well, I did the Video 61 laminated sheets video when the Jets were playing the Patriots, and it was like one of
Oh,
these.
man.
It was one of these things where if the Jets won, it was a loss. If the Jets lost, it was a loss. I felt terrible all day, and editing something even that easy, which that sheets video is an easy video. It still takes 3-4 hours for everything to render, and easy.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot goes into these videos, and you do a lot more in front of the camera. I'm always, I don't like to get in front of the camera a lot. I know everybody's begging to see all this. Yep, but
yeah, you gotta make them pay for it.
right, exactly. But no, yeah, I think everything you do would take a lot longer. You have a lot of neat stuff going on with yours. I always like your editing style, but that's enough self promotion here, because we're going to move on to something people will actually care about.
Okay.
Atari Man of the Year. So this is somebody that has to do with Atari that basically we think helped improve the hobby, the community, the products, whatever, the most. And I think me and you agreed instantly, because the minute we talked about it, when you finally showed up to rehearsals, I agreed 100%, and it's the same name I was going to give. So I think you wrote it down and put it in an envelope, didn't you, Vinny?
Well, I was going to nominate. This is going to be lame because we've just been kissing our own butts. I was going to nominate you because you've actually increased.
Yeah,
you've well.
I was trying to stop that.
Okay, if you don't want it, then we don't talk about it. But
no, you're fine.
You're not going to win. I just think you did a great job. You came from nowhere, and then now you're a monetized Atari only person. And there's people, I will look in your comments and people are like, I didn't know the Atari, blah, blah, blah. You're educating a lot of people on this hobby. And I think that deserves some credit. But we're going to give this award, and I'm going to say Person of the Year because that's politically correct.
Oh, yeah.
I know you're up there in Toledo where people don't care about people's feelings.
No.
But we're going to give this bad boy to Atari CEO Wade Rosen.
Yep.
Because this has been a year of wins ever since the Atari 50th anniversary celebration hit the market. Everybody watching his stream still, think about this. All you heard was ridicule for the Atari.
Yep.
It's weird. What is that thing? Is Atari still alive? Atari's stupid. When's Atari going to be a real company? And now you look at this year, the VCS for the most part is struggling, but it's back. The 2600 Plus is back. There's games on the VCS that are largely all good. When we were going through this list, we were like, there's nothing on here that's Starfield or God of War or Super Mario Wonder or whatever like that. But he even was quoted, we're going to win this game by hitting singles, not home runs. And it seems like a hell of a good strategy.
Yeah.
And I get emails every day or almost every day about new things with Atari in the year 2024. It's the craziest thing.
And it's things you care about too. We're not really hearing about the Atari token anymore, or what they're going to do with a hotel chain or something weird. It's stuff we actually want. We want new products. We want new ways to experience our old favorites. We want all that stuff. So I think he's making smart decisions. I hope he continues doing that. As ArenaFoot said, VCS, 200 plus, Game Station, My Arcade handhelds. Can't forget the G Fuel deal. Are you aware of the G Fuel deal?
Some of these are weird.
He's done
not everything is
stuff,
not everything is not even a single. It's a very good at bat where he popped up, but
I think some of it makes sense. The G Fuel thing's silly, but I don't think there's no risk for them in that. I think G Fuel came to them, said, "Let's slap your name on this,"
or they went to G Fuel. And
or
they
would.
yeah.
But
Vice
either way,
versa.
it gets their name out there maybe to a different market that they haven't tapped
Absolutely.
yet. The energy drinking, podcasting kids out there, you know.
All these computer programmers that are 60 years old, they're going to be like, I'm going to go run a marathon now with Atari G Fuel.
Right. See, he's done an incredible job just getting away from, like Atari.io said, the Atari token, the Bonky Casino thing.
Yeah, it was
Cleaning up the
bad.
image.
It was bad.
It was
I mean,
really
it was
bad.
like, it's like, what are we doing? Like, I'd love to go to an Atari hotel, but what the hell are we doing? I mean,
right.
So anyway, congratulations, Wade.
Wade, I know you're watching. Reach out to me.
I know, and we will gladly accept the monocle. We will take the monikers. We will take another fancy M word relating to the official Atari podcast. John, can you believe it? They're going to pick us any day. We're going to take over them goofy freaking zit-face kids.
I'm just holding my breath, Vinny, because I know any day now I'm
buying a Dodge, freaking Dodge Viper. I'm getting a Prowler. That's how crazy. I'm getting a purple Prowler match these women's sunglasses I'm wearing. You remember the Prowler?
Yeah, I remember the Plower. The Plower. I remember the Plower.
Hey, I will be the Plower if I'm driving the Prowler, baby. And if it rhymes, it's true.
Jolt says, have you guys considered having your logos put on T-shirts or stickers? Maybe on a site similar to Redbubble? What's Redbubble?
See
I'm out of touch. I would definitely be interested. I thought about that, but I don't know who would actually wear I'll put my face on a shirt.
Well, that's if you want to scare the dogs away. If you got a raccoon issue in your garbage, just go out there with this John Stoll shirt.
And Dave, he purchased the digital download of Atari 50th anniversary 4 days ago. That's awesome. See, there you go. We got people still, finding out about the 50th collection, or at least picking it up.
I want to talk about that if we have a second. And the thing that, again, it's always ups and downs. Like, I played the Atari 50th anniversary celebration on the Switch. Tickled pink. All the trackball games suck, and the paddle games aren't that good. Everything else, fantastic. Tempest 2000 on that. The best game on the damn compilation. Wonderful. I go and play I buy it because they had it for $14 on the Atari VCS during Christmas.
Oh, wow.
I bought it for that. I got Tempest 2000. It doesn't work great because you can't, the bonus, and it's like they got to fix that,
Yeah. It doesn't work great, but it works really good on the actual Jaguar. I don't know. A lot of those games on there work really good, but it's hard to just emulate that.
But when your best game doesn't work on your own system, it's like, guys, come on.
Yeah, but still, it's a great release. It's a ton of
fun. It's one of the best games of that year, 2022.
So this category, when I presented it to Vinny, it's kind of vague. He pointed that out. And I said, you came late to rehearsal. It's too late to change it.
Well, biggest wiener. I mean, there was a circumcision accident that happened.
No, winner.
Oh, biggest winner. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
All right, never mind.
That's okay, because you kept bringing up these these guys I never heard of.
Small numbers.
Yeah.
I didn't know it could be that small. How do you have children? Anyway.
The biggest winner is like the best product, the biggest win overall in the Atari community, from Atari themselves, from Atari in general releases. Just who's the biggest winner with Atari, Vinny? Atari related stuff.
I don't understand this category, and I'm going to refuse to participate.
Good. So
let's just.
I don't want you to either. Here we go. We'll scrap it.
I don't like it.
Best.
You know what it sounds like.
What's it sound like?
It sounds like the answer is going to be you. You're the biggest winner. Yeah, I mean, it's just like, I think we were going to say it was going to be Atari 2600, but we already gave him something. So just
that crap. You don't get two. No, that's not how we do that.
No, we don't want you to get we don't want people to get.
We want to make you feel good, but not great.
We also want to insult you
a little bit.
Now, this is the best category, and I wish. And maybe next year we can do something like 2600 release,
Yeah.
5200 release for these homebrews. Now, I did some homework, and this is going to be a best Atari release, and that's homebrew, VCS, official release, all this stuff.
Yep.
No, wait a minute. This is best Atari release, isn't it? Does that include? Now, that's a good question. Would that have included the Atari Age stuff?
It probably should.
Okay, I don't know if we did that, but
no, we didn't. We didn't.
Yeah,
do it like
but
that.
I actually went and looked at everything Atari Age released this year, and there was a lot of weird games for the Lynx, for the Jaguar. I actually played Rocket Ranger, which they put it on the. I think that game is terrible.
Yeah.
I played it on two different. I've got an emulator here. I played it on NES. I played it on Amiga, and I played it on something else. And I was like, God, that game is stupid. I don't like that game at all. And then the 5200 had a game called Scorch, which is a version of Scorched Earth. Didn't look great, but I love Scorched Earth.
But that came out last year.
That's this year, the 2023. Yeah, last year. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's all with the Atari. And again, we're saying the best releases, man, 7,800 games, dude.
Yeah.
And they're finally having their day in the sun. These 7,800 game releases were amazing. However, this, instead of including Atari Age this year, which is kind of confusing, this is the official House of Atari best release this year. And these are the games that Atari released in 2023, if you're ready. Should we go down the whole list?
Yeah, go ahead. List off everything that they put out. Let's see what
that was an official Atari release.
Official Atari release. Yep. Yeah. Hey, Jerome.
Jerome's late. We're gonna have
he shows up late.
We're gonna have Pack Billy going, I missed the show again.
Right at the end, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So here's what was
Pack Billy.
Here's what was released this year. Caverns of Mars Recharged.
Okay.
Anka R, Jeff Minter's game.
Yep.
That's an interesting story behind that game.
There is.
Pixel Ripped 1978.
Which neither of us have played, right?
But it's a virtual reality game. And right. I have a neighbor who's a friend of mine, and he played it, and he said it was very good.
Yeah, I heard good things about it, but I feel like that's something, again, their main audience won't experience. It's probably for the newer. How many of you out there have that the VR? Is that what it is? VR? I almost said 3D headset, but yeah.
Are you talking? What's wrong with you?
Go ahead. What's the other?
Yeah, take a knee for a second.
Let me sit out. Let me sit this one out.
You're like, you see stars? I smell ether. Is there something on fire? Calm down, John. Okay. So the next one,
Benny.
Mr. Run and Jump, which actually got a nod for best platform at a major. I don't know if it's major, but so that was something that was been nominated. Days of Doom, turn-based dystopian thing.
Quantum like that.
I love Days of Doom.
Yeah.
Quantum Recharged. Quamp 2, which was not released for the Atari VCS, and I don't know why. Berserk Recharged, Food Fight Culinary Combat, Neo Sprint, and Roller Coaster Tycoon, which they released for computers but not their own system. Now, you want to do yours or mine? Who are you going with?
Jerome, don't go back and watch the earlier show, by the way. I just want to let you know. So
yeah, don't go back too far.
Yeah. So again, it's been nominated by other places, and I played the 2600 version. I've been kind of putting off getting it on the VCS, but I think Mr. Run and Jump is probably their biggest, most notable release. I've heard a lot of great things about it. I'm enjoying the 2600 version. I'm getting more excited and amped up to play the VCS version. So I think as far as notable releases, things that have sort of helped them do something a little different, maybe a little unexpected, I think all around Mr. Run and Jump, both versions have to be Atari's best release this year, in my opinion.
And also Berserk enhanced version for the Atari 2600 Plus, and then the paddle game compilation. And the pack-in game of the 10 games that they released all of those. So those are nominees too.
Oh
I'm going to say that Mr. Run and Jump, I hate platform games. So I don't like Mario games and stuff like that. So that's not going to register for me, even though I did buy the 2600 version and should have bought the VCS version because it was like $12 during Christmas. And I just was like, I don't want to play it yet. It looks
I would
cool.
have bought it.
Well,
I couldn't.
Yeah, right. You were having the thing.
Yeah.
So, and that was a game that's been released on many platforms. And another one, though, that I think is the game of the year from Atari, despite its flaws, the graphics aren't the greatest.
They look great.
The sound is not the greatest. The very end is not great.
I agree.
All that to say, it's one of the best games I've played in a long time as far as originality of gameplay. They change the map every time you play it. It was released at an apropos time in the calendar year, which helped it out a little bit. Interesting characters, decently interesting story. And I gave it a review on my channel, a 4.0 out of 5. I'm going to say their best release this year was Haunted House. And there was several strong games. Caverns of Mars Recharged. Almost that whole list are games about in that realm of decent. But I'm going to have to lean into that one, man. I think Haunted House, all things considered, is the best game that Atari released last year.
You know what kind of stood out for me there is what was the 50th anniversary collection and Atari Mania both released in the same year?
Yeah, last year.
Like 2022, right?
Yeah, or the 2 years ago, yeah.
So,
you all right?
Okay.
You with us?
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm just
We're about to do the drum roll, and you're asking me, "Hey, is Demons to Diamonds was that released last year?"
Hey,
did they release Demons to Diamonds? Is that one from last year?
50th collection.
That
no, it stood out to me though that there really wasn't a game like that on there, though. You know,
what Haunted House?
Or like just a collection of their ROMs and stuff. Like it seems like they're always putting out some sort of anniversary game or ROM collection. I didn't hear anything like that on there. I thought that was interesting. I was going to point that out, but never mind. The winner.
So you're saying, well, actually they did release their pack-in game for the 2600 plus.
Yeah.
And the paddle controller collection.
So I guess so. Yeah. So they did. Okay.
They
so
just
I'm
can't
just
get
having
away
a
from
stroke here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I just said that 4 minutes ago, but that's okay. But yes, I think this is what we agreed on. I can't remember, but
go ahead, Vinny.
I'm going to say the best release. We need a little controversy, maybe. Best Atari release is going to be Haunted House.
That's not what we talked. Is that what we talked about?
Yes,
that's what we talked about. We're in agreement here, guys.
Is there a gas leak up there? I know it's snowing in.
There is a ton of snow outside, and I'm having a stroke.
Are you okay? You may need to go save your family, dude. Screw this Atari crap. Your family's you're going to be done with the podcast. They're going to be completely unconscious. Yeah. No wonder the dogs have been.
The dog's been sleeping this whole time. Yeah.
Yeah. You're the last man standing. So
I guess so.
If you haven't played Haunted House, if you temper your expectations and say, I'm going to go in and just have fun, the gameplay, which is like 85%, and there's some like nice little accoutrements on the outside. It's really, I was amazed at how engrossing it was, how hard it was, how challenging it was, how well balanced it was, how fun. And dude, 11, 12, 13 hours. And I got to say, this is the thing. And I'm going to be honest with you. I get bored with games easy. Like if it's a game after 2 or 3 hours, I'm like, okay, this was fun, but I'm done with it. I wanted to beat Haunted House. The ending sucked, but it was fun to play. And I'm glad I beat it.
What's funny is based on the reviews or the videos that we put out, I think I liked it more than you, just based off of that. And
and I thought it was. I think it's their best game this year.
Yeah, it was a great game. I really liked the variety they added to it. The different things you can do. You're not doing the same thing in every room, and it is semi-randomized. So Yeah, and the sounds are great. See, Jerome agrees with me. You
I
bashed the
gotta
sound. I thought the sound was great. I liked the sound design. I thought it was appropriately spooky. There's little whales and stuff in the background. I thought it
see.
was
I think it
fun.
could have been. I think it could have been a lot scarier. Like
Yeah, but I don't
the
think it was.
little, what was it, like the woman that was the whaler, like from Left
Well,
4 Dead 4, like the woman that was
Jerome
like,
wants us to do no spoilers, please. So don't say what the ending was, I guess. But
I don't even remember it, man. So
I
you
don't either.
tell
So
me, Jerome, tell me what happened. 'Cause
right.
it was one of those things that happened like that, and we were like, what?
Yeah,
So
it ended pretty quick.
yeah, and it was like, but anyway, there is a nice little there's a swerve at the end. So yeah, watch
Yep.
out for that. But congratulations to the programmers of Haunted House.
Yeah, I think they did a great job. Very
Yeah.
atmospheric. That's right.
But that leads into not a bad year at all. I mean, all of those games, there's only one on there, and we actually had another negative category, which was like worst game or something, and we decided we don't want to do that because we don't want to be negative.
No, we don't want to be negative. I think the biggest disappointment is fine, because that's sort of what Atari fans for the previous 30 years were used to, was discipline. Right after 1995, 6, we were used to nothing but disappointment, even before then, but it got really bad at that point.
Oh yeah, and the Jaguar was, you had to almost make yourself like games that weren't really good. Like and so I mean, we're not, these games are good. I mean, there's only a couple on this list I think are pretty bad, but so we didn't even talk about this. Maybe we need to talk about this now. We promised. So let's talk about, because some people may not have heard. And congratulations to all the winners.
Yeah, absolutely. Your trophies are in the mail.
We're great. I'm a winner.
We love ourselves.
Me and Wade Rosen, we won on award tonight. So we played Food Fight Culinary Combat.
Oh yeah,
about 10 days ago, and we actually had a lot of fun playing it. It played pretty flawlessly. There wasn't a lot of people on there, but we actually did run into a guy and we kicked his mother ass. And we were on the phone. You can't communicate through a headset because it's like pre-Nintendo bad. But me and John have each other's personal phone numbers to call each other in the middle of the night and wake each other up as a joke. But we were actually on.
Yeah, stop doing that, by the way.
I think my penis fell off. Help me.
I just stopped answering.
Yes, but don't block my number. But we were talking and we were like, okay, and we were kind of reviewing it, right? To tell you guys, I had a lot of fun. Is it Fortnite? Is it Splatoon? No,
probably
but it
not.
was. It's good. I do like the game. In my review, I say I like the game King of the Cone best. I like Crumbling the best. I think that's the best game mode, which is a Fortnite type thing where the screen gets smaller and smaller. But John, what was that thing you put when we were on the ship? There was a you can add things to your weapons.
Yeah, that's what's really cool to me. I think that's probably the best idea out of the game. Maybe it was done somewhere else because I haven't played anything newer than Xbox 360, but you can augment your weapons with different food. So you can butter up your weapons. You can add, there's something that makes you bounce constantly. That's kind of annoying. But you can augment your weapons.
There's marshmallows you can add.
Yeah, that might be, I think that makes you walk slower. But yeah.
Okay.
Isn't it? Or is that the bounce?
I don't know.
There's three of them, I think. So I buttered up the entire stage.
Yeah, it looked like
even
Platoon. Oh, and so this is the great thing. I kicked John's ass. Now, he beat me a couple times. And it was like we were playing King of the Cone and we had the third person, the stranger was there. And you don't know who these people are because Atari doesn't let your name to be displayed.
It's just called Player 3.
Fix that. Because I would like to know if I'm playing Sabretooth or Justin or anybody
That'd be
else.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. You could be like, oh, it's that guy and that's the other thing about this community thing. I could see a guy who's like Driller Joe is always in the top 10 of these recharge games. And I could be like, I'm going to kick this guy's ass. I can't beat him at Caverns of Mars, but I'm going to kill him on
Food Fight.
I'm going to beat him at Food Fight. So, that would be a blast. And, But the stranger was there. John won that game. But the last game we played was where he went crazy, go nuts with he was squirting everything everywhere with the food. And we were on the battleship or the boat, and it was just slicker than snot on a doorknob.
Yeah.
And it was the game that was crumbling.
Yeah.
And we had the superfood, and in my mind, so me and John were kind of hiding from each other. The board was shrinking, and the superfood was in the middle of us. And I was like, I'm going to go run and get the superfood.
Yep.
And that causes all the little chefs to run out. And I said, that's going to be able to knock John off the board. And I run out, and I slide on his damn food, and I slide off the map. And John wins, and that was an awesome way to end the night. But
yeah, there's a lot of great ideas there. That was a fun. All the games were fun. That was kind of fun. I think we both chuckled at that. But
yeah, that was awesome. It was just like, wow.
Yeah, you know? Like what? I won? Oh, cool.
Yeah. So that was awesome. So we're going to have a tournament.
Yep.
And we need to get, if anybody watching this, if you want to be in the tournament, we're going to give away prizes. I have a lot of interesting Atari stuff. And I'm going to see if I can get rid of something that I can part with without me crying too much.
So that means you're one of a kind. No,
my Ricky and Vicky thing is probably one of the coolest things now. The developer cart. So we'll give a prize away to the winner, but we're going to have a tournament, and if you want to play in that tournament, we need to know what days are the best. I think me and John have decided the weekends are the best. Yeah,
and really I've announced it on my channel. We announced it on Facebook. We had 4 people volunteer. I mean, if you're interested, John, it's a lot of fun, and we want to do like 8 people on there. I think that would be the best, per match. 8 people is the match.
And that's what we want to do. Is we need to and the way to go about it is we also need to test, because we're going to do a full-fledged review, I guess, too, at some point.
Yeah.
We want to say we had 8 people on here and it was awesome, or it was too glitchy, or it was breaking up too much.
I think
or whatever.
That's I think Atari was hoping for that when they released it on the BCS. I think they kind of want to stress test it, find out if it stands up when there's a bunch of people on at once, and I don't think they've gotten that. So it would be helpful to them, even if you look at it like that. So
yeah. So if you want to play in the tournament, we'll be doing that probably end of January, beginning of February, and we'll have an Atari Network Championship, and you can be the food fight champion.
There you go.
And it should be pretty fun.
You can win a piece of Vinny's collection. So
there you go. I got some interesting things. I got an umbrella holder made out of Martha Stewart's vaginal hair, and that may be up for grabs.
Vote for us for official Atari podcast.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, we're still campaigning for that. We love all gods and all political parties. Please hire us.
Let us know your pronouns beforehand.
Yes.
We will use them.
We don't. And if you hate pronouns, we'll just call everybody the same pronoun. Whatever you want, Atari.
Whatever you want it. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll just be assholes or too nice or whatever. Yeah. So we need to put up. You need to gather the information, Johnny, and try to correlate this, and we'll figure out. Me and you'll figure out the rules, and we got to figure out a way too. This is the other problem too. Is we need to. If you get people to join, say, what character are you going to use? Because we need to be able to identify all of us, because we're all going to have, instead of our names, player 1, player 2, player 3, player 4.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think there's ways to get around that. Again, we'll figure it out. We'll let you guys know. But yeah, we'll do something like that. Either we'll have designated characters, or because there is 10 characters, 8 different characters. So we could each take a model.
Well, and you can dress up Charlie, right?
You can dress them all up. Yeah.
Oh, so you could be the Asian girl chef, and she could have the funk hat or whatever.
Yep, exactly.
Okay. All right.
Anything you have unlocked. Make sure you log in and get your New Year's jacket that Vinny loved, and the helmet too.
Oh, still
on there.
It's the hat. The top hat looks cool. The jacket looks terrible.
But, it looked bad. They had some cool stuff for Christmas too, so it's worth logging in and checking out.
So it means Valentine's is next. You can have some cute half naked Cupid stuff, maybe.
There might be some stuff for MLK Day.
That'd be righteous.
It's a suit,
big power fist, or a suit. or maybe a bulletproof helmet. Is that too soon?
Jesus, vote us for official Atari
Oh yeah.
podcast.
Well, I'd be for the bulletproof. I'm for him. That happened in my
that's pro.
state too. That was embarrassing. I didn't like that.
That's
I
rough.
actually, the guy that shot him, I actually made out with a girl in the guy's jail cell. That's another story. John, oh Jesus, John Wilkes Booth jail cell. I actually made out with a girl in his jail cell.
That's not who. That's not who killed Martin Luther King.
Oh, that was Abraham Lincoln. Let's see, David Allen Cole. That's a country music singer. Maybe I need a nap. Who the hell killed Martin Luther King? Fucking James Earl Ray. James Earl Ray. Or is that Darth Vader?
The time-traveling assassin, John Wilkes Booth.
God dang it. I went to public high school in Baltimore, man.
I'm sorry. I don't know why that hit me so funny.
Well, I hope it hits everybody funny because I'd like to be the Atari official podcast. Who killed Martin Luther King? Assassin. You know what's crazy is a lot of people don't think he did that.
No.
Yeah, and in fact, I've heard that he became friends with Martin Luther King's wife. Like she would come, because she didn't think he killed him either. It was like he thought he was a patsy.
Really?
Yeah,
that's interesting. I didn't learn that in school.
Well, you don't. We live in the day and age where you don't know. Like you don't know what you get so much information, and like half the people are crazy.
Yeah.
So you're like, okay, is this a conspiracy theory? Is it right? Any sort of? James Earl Ray. I was right. Not John Wilkes Booth, but James Earl Ray.
Right.
But are people crazy? You hear stuff all the time, and you're like, man, I don't know, dude. Like maybe he did it, maybe he didn't. I mean, at the end of the day, he died. That's all.
That's a fun fact right there.
James Earl Jones was once given an award that was mistakenly made out to James Earl Ray. Oh my God. Could you imagine being a black man and getting that said that dude's name on it?
Yeah, I wonder what award that was, because that might have been a kind of just a mean thing to do. And I agree with Jerome. People are crazy. Especially these two people right here. Vote us for Atari Podcast. With all that said, Benny, I think we got through the awards. I didn't want to touch too much on homebrew because there's another channel that seems to have that sort of cornered.
What are you talking about?
Zero Page Homebrew guys. They do the Atari Day stuff. They give out awards and stuff.
Now you're acting like your feelings are hurt or something. We can talk about homebrews.
No, I know. I just didn't want to focus on them for the award. There's another good channel that has cats that does that. So, I wanted to be a little different. But if you guys have suggestions for next year, let us know. If you want more homebrew stuff, we can do that.
I want to hear what you have to say about Zero. It sounds like you've got some sort of. What do you have to say about 0 Point Homebrew? You like them?
They're fine.
They're fine. I'm quoting you now.
Yeah. Jolt wants those trophies to be up on eBay at some point.
Oh, can you imagine?
You can find them at your local garbage.
Could you imagine buying all 9? We could sell them like Atari. Be like, these are the XP versions of these trophies, 150 each.
If you play in the food fight tournament, you might win Wade Rosen's award. If he's probably not going to give
you, he's probably not going to give you his address.
So if you want an award named to Wade Rosen, Possum Grits says,
"What'd you call me?"
They don't have it cornered. More homebrew, please. See, that's the kind of feedback I was curious about.
Well, of course. I don't care about. They're Canadian anyway. They don't really count. They're homebrew. They have to do.
People, is that what you're saying?
They have to do 2 hours of a podcast to equal an hour and 30 minutes of ours. That's just the metric system.
Oh yeah, that's a conversion rate, right?
That's the conversion rate. So they have to work harder to even keep up with us. So we're not even worried about it.
PJ Nealon says, love to buy Atari stuff, but it's hard for non-US people. I've heard that it's extremely hard for people outside of our country to get it.
What if we started an illegal underground railroad of Atari stuff? Like it'd be like the old oleo runs. You know what those were? Like when margarine was illegal. Bob Euchre was born. Bob Euchre was born on an oleo run. We could have an underground railroad of Atari stuff.
There you go.
I know a guy. We could just fly in and dump the shit. We could find lakes and dump it over Europe.
PJ, contact Vinny after the show. He wants to set up a railroad for you across the ocean. But yeah, I've heard that. And the good news is you're getting the Atari 400 Mini. I don't know why they don't make some of this stuff more available, because they had a huge market in Europe. Even bigger, even in the Atari Jaguar days. I think the European market really wanted that console, and they kind of just turned their back on it based on the amount of inventory they had, not because they don't like Europe, but they could only facilitate either America or Europe. And honestly, I think they have a bigger fan base at that time that would have enjoyed it across the pond there. So that's kind of interesting, in my opinion, that they really don't cater to them.
Jaguar was interesting because it was made in America and it had the American flag on it. I think that's kind of, kitsch, or has brings some sort of vibes to Europe. Like, it was unique, man. So yeah. That's normally what we all talk about. It's Homer. He's just being silly.
No, yeah. Possum Grits says, I prefer the style here, fun and funky, not stiff with kitties. Well, being stiff with kitties is fine. That's Possum Grits. I'm becoming a fan of Possum Grits.
I think I'm Possum Grits typing this from the future.
From the future.
Yeah, I think I'm Possum Grits in 5 years, going back in time. I worked with the guys who worked with Nolan in the early days before the Warner takeover, and they're full of Atari Oleo kind of story. Oh my God, I'd love to hear those. I love illegal shit and hearing stories about it and all the grifter kind of circus type stuff, and
that would be great.
And nothing boring like prostitutes and drugs, but stuff that's like illegal products and stuff that's funny.
Yeah. LOL, Possum Grits. I like Possum Grits. I'm a fan of Possum Grits. So now I'm gonna call my wife that tonight. Hey, Possum Grits.
I'm gonna call my wife Possum something that rhymes with grits and see.
There you go. That's a good one. Yeah,
brother. I think we nailed it.
I think it. Yep.
And I'm sad already. Where it's going to be 2 weeks before we do another one, but I think we'll have the tournament announcement. And I think a lot of people are going to leave now to go to see the Stiff Kitty show over in Canada. But because I think that starts at 9:00, so check out. But just a couple of commercials here. I want to say that two of my recent movies, Vinny's Fantastic Rock and Roll Adventure and Camp Smokey, are free to view at a place called Reveal TV. And it's an app you can get on Roku, and that means they have all 4 of our movies. So you can have a 4-film Big and Funky Film Fest over at Reveal TV, and I'm gonna spell it for you because people aren't gonna know what that is. But it's what's cool, John, is not only our movies, but any movie that you watch over there, you watch one commercial, and the rest of the movie's free. So, and it's a free channel.
That's a good deal, and you can see what Vinny's been working on.
But this is nice. We're starting to get some nicey comments here. I don't know how to take compliments. I always like being the bad guy. I was a bad guy pro wrestler for years. Hearing nice things is always weird to me. A bit of humor. I think we have too much humor. Somebody's late. Yeah, you can go back and watch the show. The live chat will you can read all the stuff in the live chat, and I think it takes about an hour for it to reload, but you can go watch that again. And we're also, you never say this either, John, but we're also like on Apple and Spotify and stuff like that. Or
I put our stuff audio only for a few of our older podcasts on Spotify. But yeah, then I never told anybody about it. So if you want audio only, give it a listen on Spotify, see what you think. And
is that the only thing we're on
right now? Yeah. I started working on Apple, and I might have to talk to you after the show because there's something kind of funky with that. So,
okay.
So you might have to do that. I don't know.
Well, I'm going to do it. I'm going to look good doing it. Congratulations to the winners tonight. The first ever Fuji Awards, which I think
That's right.
this was a smoother show than the damned Golden Globes, from what I heard. I heard that was a disaster.
There you go. And make sure you subscribe to the Big and Funky Productions channel. That's Vinny's channel, Atari stuff, haunted ghost stuff, wrestling stuff. Check out Vinny when he was a wrestler. That I get a kick out of those videos. He still is, but and then don't forget to subscribe to the Atari Network. We did a video about the 2600 plus against the Retron 77 that has a few mistakes, and I have to put out a retraction for that. So watch it, see if you can pick out the mistakes.
And you could win a prize.
You could win.
And my last video was looking at the laminated cartoon strips of the Video 61 Atari 7800 releases, which a lot of people thought that was very entertaining. And I'm doing an Asteroids Recharged review in the next couple of days because I'm going to try to burn through the Recharge games and Harpy's Curse here in the next couple of days too. So
there you go.
That'll be on the channel. What else we got?
I think we're wrapping up, but PJ Nealon said late. It's about 3 a.m. here. So that's dedication. 3 a.m. just to watch little old Vinny.
Hey, and check out. There's I've got a lot of people in my world tonight that's on my channel. So make sure you check out, if you're in the Big and Funky Productions YouTube page, make sure you check out the Atari Network. John puts out a lot more content than I do, and his stuff is really good too. So check that out.
Yep. And of course, thanks everybody for participating in the chat. I get a kick out of you guys. So make sure you come watch it.
I have done podcasts and radio shows for years. This is probably my one of my most favorite podcasts I've ever been a part of.
Absolutely. And thank you, Possum Grits and Atari.io, David's Boxing, all you guys out there. Appreciate it. Have a good night, everybody.
Never know what we're going to get. All right, man.
Know. All right,
Take care,
everybody.
guys.
Take care.
Bye-bye.